and welcome back to Dusty Book Sniffers. I'm Nicole and today we are here for my May TBR. Good morning or good evening, no matter where you're watching from. Thank you so much for joining me today. I do appreciate you taking some time out of your day and spending it with me. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking all about my TBR, so what I'm going to be reading in the month of May, and I've set myself a little bit of a challenge. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for taking some more time out of your day and spending it with me. Now, if you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon beside it, and then that way you won't miss out on any of my future bookish uploads. All right, so grab yourself a cuppa or a drink or a beverage of your choice and basically strap yourself in because we've got a few books to get through. So as the thumbnail suggests, this is a Kindle Unlimited edition TBR. I have been slowly collecting books over the last probably 6 months and I haven't read any of them. I've read a couple and I've returned them and put other ones back on there, but most of these are actually from the first quarter of this year. So I have seen some fabulous titles coming out on Kindle Unlimited, and I've got some fabulous titles that I want to read that I've got through BookBub and things like that. So I get 2 emails basically. I get BookBub, which is a daily email, and I get a Kindle Unlimited every now and again. I don't really get that often. So I don't know why. It probably goes to junk or spam or something and I just don't see it and don't think about it. But I have been getting on there and having a look, and thanks to Amanda from this Reading and Writing Life, I think her channel is. I always get channel names mixed up. I do apologize, Amanda, but I will leave her channel down below. She has just done a month's worth of filming every single day for I think it's called Vader, a video in April every day. So basically she's just done that, and she talked about, I think it was last month, she talked about Kindle Unlimited and being able to get the audio with it and all the rest of it. And I knew that you could do that, but I didn't know that there were so many titles available and how to do it. So I went and added a whole heap. So as I said, grab yourself a beverage, strap yourself in. We're in for the long haul. I've got 19 books to get through, 3 of which are a series, and I have had them on my I think I've had them on since the beginning of last year actually, and they're little witchy sort of young, like they're youngish type books. I wouldn't say they're young adult, but anyway. All right, so let's get into it. I've got my computer in front of me and I've got some notes here and all the rest of it because, as I said, these are all from my Kindle Unlimited. My challenge is to read all of these books except for the 3 series. I'm just reading 1 book from each one by the end of May. So let's get stuck into it. The first one is Her Name is Night. This is a debut offering from Yasmin Ango. And Her Name is Night features an elite assassin heroine on a mission to topple human trafficking, trafficking ring, and avenge her family. So basically, stolen from her Ghanaian village as a child, Nina Knight has plenty of motives to kill. Now an elite assassin for a powerful business syndicate called the Tribe, she gets plenty of chances. So I thought that for a debut author, she's also a person of colour, so I'm trying to incorporate more of those books into my repertoire. So this was great. It was a debut and it met a couple of my requirements, so I'm pretty happy with that. And so basically the book, she ends up in Miami and she ends up saving a life rather than killing one. So it sounds like a bit of an interesting book. I'll let you know what it's all about in my weekly wrap-ups throughout May. The next book we have is The Last Rose of Shanghai. This is a novel and it is a historical fiction. And so this one came up. I can't remember how this one came up. I think I just found this one and just liked the look of it. And basically it is historical fiction and it's a love story. And basically it's set in occupied Japan in Shanghai, and two people from two different cultures come together by fate and also by music. So I thought, ooh, and it's, as I said, it is set in Japanese occupied Shanghai in 1940. So that's sort of right up my alley. You know, everybody knows I like my historical fictions. I read quite a bit of them. They seem to be my kick at the moment, but I do read across several genres at any given time, but majority of the books that I've been picking up lately have been historical fiction, and most of these are actually historical fiction. The next one that I'm going to be talking about is this is a Colleen Hoover. I just had a total mind blank then. Colleen Hoover, I've got several of hers on here. She has quite a few on Kindle Unlimited. So this one is called Layla, and Layla, basically it seems like a love story when Leeds, that he's obviously the main male character, and meets Layla. He's convinced he'll spend the rest of his life with her until a tragic accident sees her fighting for her life. So I thought, yep, I'll add that one in. The next one that I'm going to be reading is The Broken Circle, and this one I added to my list after doing the Afghanistan prompt a couple of weeks ago with the ladies, and in the Facebook group, a few of them were reading it and they said that they really enjoyed it, so I added it because it was on Kindle Unlimited, so even better. I can add a third book now that I've read from Afghanistan once I've read it. The next one is called The Lobotomist. The Broken Circle is by Anjali Midi Miller. So I'm not entirely sure of her background. I think that she may be now in the United States. The next one is The Lobotomist's Wife. This is also a novel. It's by Samantha Green Woodruff, and basically this one is got mental health underlyings in it. So basically all the blurb said is an enthralling historical novel of compassion, of a compassionate and relentless woman, a cutting-edge breakthrough in psychiatry, and a nightmare in the making. So it sounded a little bit intriguing. And I really like the cover on this one. That's another reason that I picked it as well. Sometimes I just go shopping for covers because they look pretty. The next one is called A Splendid Ruin. This is a novel. This one came on the BookBub from if memory serves me correctly, and I probably should note these down where they're coming from, because BookBub likes to just throw in the Kindle Unlimited every now and again, and they usually fall under the women's fiction section. So this next one is a mesmerizing novel of dark family secrets and a young woman's rise and revenge, and set against the 1906 San Francisco earthquake. And basically after her mother's death, she May Kimball lives a lonely life until her aunt that she didn't know exists summons her to San Francisco, and this is on the eve of the earthquake, and there she is welcomed into a wealthy Sullivan family and their social circle. So I thought that would be a really interesting one, of like a rags to riches, maybe. Sort of that's the vibe that I got from it. So I thought, yep, pop that one on there, why not? The next one, and I got these pretty close together, these three that I've just, the past two and this one, A Train to Moscow. This is by Elena Gorokova. If I probably said that totally wrong, but anyway, you can see the cover there, and I'm sure that you're all screaming at the phone or your device at the moment, going, "That's not how you say it." And I'm well aware that I butcher people's names. I've got no concept of last names, and you think I would with it. I've got a pretty hairy last name myself. You'd think I'd get my tongue around it, but anyway, I never do. All right, so this one is set in post-World War II Russia, and a girl must reconcile a tragic past with her hope for the future. This is a powerful and poignant novel about family secrets, passion, loss, and perseverance, and also ambition. So basically, there's a lot of family secrets in this family, and one of the secrets is that this girl has is that she wants to be a famous actress, and so she sets out to sort of do that. She leaves Moscow she leaves against her family's wishes and all that sort of hoo-ha. All right, the next one is called The Keeper of Happy Endings by Barbara Davis, and basically it's a novel about fate, second chances, hope, lost and found. This is by the bestseller author of The Last of the Moon Girls, and basically it is set around a exclusive bridal salon in Paris where magic is worked with needle and thread. So that sounded like a little bit up my alley. Let's face it, when anything involves needle and thread, I'm all over it. As most of you probably know, I am reading a couple of embroidery series. All right, so the next one that we have is called A Little Bird. Now, I'm actually going to use this one for my Australian prompt because this is by an Australian author, and it's also set in Australia. It's by Wendy James, and basically it's about a girl that comes back to her hometown, and there was she's trying to make sense of a tragedy that happened when she was younger, and it was set around the disappearance of her baby sister. So she comes back and she's got a job, and it's drought stricken, and so it sounds very quintessential Australian. It looks, the cover, as you can see from the cover, it looks like it's set in the outback, so I'm all over that. And as I said, I'm going to use that for my Australian prompt because that's coming up soon. All right, so the next two, and we're almost we're hitting the halfway mark now, so we're at number 10. All right, so The Skylark Secret is by Fiona Valpy, and this one is set in Scotland. It's a love story, so historical fiction. It's set around the Royal Navy Arctic Convoys base, and there's a defiance from the gentleman that falls in love with the girl, and basically it all happens from there. So it'll be interesting to see what that story's about. This one I did get from BookBub as well. It come up on there, and the same as the next one, which is by the same author, is the storyteller of Casablanca. I don't really know much about this one except that it's set in 1941 in Morocco, and France has fallen to the Nazis, and it's following the story of a 12-year-old girl who has fled with her family to Casablanca, and while she's awaiting for passage to America, she falls in love with Casablanca and all that it has to offer her. So it sounded like a really good, nice read, curl up in bed. All right, so the next one is called Reluctantly Home by Imogen Clark. Again, I don't know anything about this one. I just seen it. It had a lone bike on it, on the cover, as you can see, and yeah, I didn't really read it. I just thought I like that cover. I don't know, I just like the simplicity of it, and I added it onto my list. So this is this is from the best-selling author Where the Story Starts, and it's about so the main character has a prestigious job as a human rights lawyer, and she has a fabulous house, but then a tragic accident stops her in the tracks, and then in an instant everything changes. And I really like those sort of stories where everything's going along honky-dory and then everything changes, and I like to see how writers portray the main character and how they're going to get through it. I don't know. I just love those sort of books. The next one I got is called Things We Never Get Over. Now, I've seen this all over Instagram, and I think I've seen it on TikTok as well. Not that I watch a lot of TikTok, and I've seen a couple of, but I haven't seen it on Booktube. So, not that I've looked anyway. So, The Things We Never Get Over is by Lucy Score, and this one is basically we've got a bad boy. And it says here, Knox prefers to live his life the way he takes his coffee, alone. I like to take my coffee alone too, so I'm like, yeah, I'm all over that. Just that line alone got me in, and so I really don't have any idea what this book's about. As I said, I've just seen pictures of it on Instagram, and I think I've seen it on TikTok as well. So basically, he also has a basset hound for a dog, which I thought was pretty cool as well. So he doesn't tolerate any drama or anything like that, even when it comes from a runaway bride. Now, Naomi is the runaway bride, but she's not just running away from her wedding. She's actually running to her twin, and basically it's her twin Virginia, in a rough around the edges tone, where disputes are settled the old-fashioned way with fists and beer, and usually in that order. So I thought that was a pretty good book to pick up and pop onto the list. All right, so the next two are from Colleen Hoover, and the first one is Regretting You, and this is a mother and daughter story. So we've all seen pretty keen to read some of her catalogue, and we had a young girl staying here. She was hiding out from COVID because her family contracted COVID and she had year 12 mid-year exams and stuff like that. So she was hiding out here because this was the safe zone. And we went shopping, and she ended up getting a whole heap of Colleen Hoover books because she absolutely loves them. And she read 3 while she was here. So she smashed through them. Like, she read 1.5 in a day because they were relaxing before they went back to school. So that was really good that she got to read those. And basically, so Regretting You is a mother and daughter story, as I said. The next one is Reminders of Him. And basically it is about a young troubled mother that is trying to get a shot at redemption. She's been in jail for 5 years and she's going back home. But basically she's got to build some bridges and stuff like that. So that's pretty much all I've got here in my notes. Okay, so this next one that we've got, it is by Nick Alexandra. I think this is the first male that I've had on my list. It is called The Half-Life of Hannah, and it is a Hannah series book. I don't know anything about this. I don't even remember adding this to my list, to my Kindle Unlimited. It's book 1 in the series. That's all I really know. And basically this person has written several... I'll just read you what I found about this book because, as I said, I don't really know much about it. So it was named by Amazon UK the 4th selling best indie Kindle title of all time. The Half-Life of Hannah is from the best-selling author of The Photographer's Wife, The French House, The Case of the Missing Boyfriend, and is another #1 ebook phenomenon with over 300,000 copies downloaded. So Hannah is 38 years old. She is happily married, a mother to an 11-year-old boy, and the diamond, Luke, who is the diamond in her world. Her marriage is reasonably stable, and after 15 years, she has managed to push the wild dreams from her youth and concentrate on her everyday life. But here is the question for you. If your first love came back into your life and offered you everything that you had ever dreamed of, what would you do? That line alone got me, and I'm like, I'm all over that. And as I said, I don't remember actually putting this into my Kindle Unlimited or even seeing this book anywhere. But when I read this, because I scrolled down, and when it was right down the bottom and it was mixed up with my returns. And when I read the synopsis and it had that line, I'm like, well, I'm keeping it. I'm going to read it. The next three that I'm going to talk about they are all series. So that I've picked them up off BookBub. That's where I get most of my series, and they've got to do with their fantasy series, basically. The first one that I'm going to talk about is the Witch Hunter trilogy, and this is a urban fantasy. And basically, the first book that I'm reading is Shadow Rises. It's a story of prejudice, betrayal, and forbidden love. And so basically there's a secret witch hunting society, and they go after all the bad guys, as most of those do, and the story evolves from there. But it is actually a love story. So there is 3 to this trilogy, obviously, and I'm starting with book 1, which is called Shadow Rise. All right, the next one that I'm starting on is The Witches of Coventry. I think it is. Let me just find it because it's up a little bit further because I only just recently got it. Yes, Wicked Witches of Coventry. Now, this I got from BookBub as well, and it actually has 11 books in the series. I'm starting with 1, and as you can see, that's what it was. This is what do they call it? The omnibus looks like. So that's what the cover was that they had in BookBub, and this is what the actual cover of the first book looks like, and it's If the Broom Fits. So Brighton Longfield is kind of bad at life. Okay, so she's obviously a stumbling human. She's divorced, childless, and she just got fired again. So she is with dwindling savings, few prospects. She packs up her possessions in a U-Haul and she heads out of town to a town called Coventry. She has inherited her late great aunt's house, which apparently is in disrepair. So Coventry is supposed to be her last stop. This is supposed to change her life. She's going to go in there, she's going to fix up the house, and then she's going to sell it and then figure out what she's going to do with her life from there. And then it finishes with best laid plans. So it must go on from there. So it's the collection, as I said, it contains 11 books. And from what I can gather, they're around 285 to 300 pages each, give or take. Okay, so the next one that I'm going to be starting, a series that I'm going to be starting, and I don't have any series really on the go except for the ones that I listen to on Audible. So these ones are good to add into. So those ones are psychological thriller, or they're like small town, hometown vibe women's fiction. So these ones are all fantasy ones, so I'm pretty happy about that. So this one is called The Witching World, and it's 3 books, and basically it's a book 1 to 3. I'm not sure if there's more. There may be more in this series. I haven't done any further research, but this one, book 1 is called Magic Awakens. You can see that's what the omnibus cover looked like, and this is what the actual book looks like that I'm reading. And so it is a mysterious world. So Witching World is a mysterious world where anything can happen. So we have basically the books will have in them empowered heroines, moody sorcerers, magical creatures with attitude that survive booby traps, and they battle enchanted artwork, ride feisty dragons, and befriend prodigy pygmy owls. So I thought that sounds like a nice little light-hearted read, and probably something I could just really fly through. And so yeah, I'm pretty happy to be starting that. The first book is called Magic Awakens, and it is a girl with dormant powers, a sorcerer with a mysterious past, and a forbidden path in magic. But I'm looking forward to starting starting those series, because I haven't read a good fantasy series, like lighthearted, not too hectic series in a while. So okay, so that is the 19 books that I am going to try and read in the month of May, and hopefully I can get through them. It works out that I probably have to read at least one a day or every 1.5 days so I can get through them. Hopefully, as I said, fingers crossed. It is a bit of a challenge, but I'm looking forward to it, because as I said, there's been so many other books that have been coming in that I want to get, and because I've borrowed these, I don't want to send them back in case I can't get them again. So, because some of them are new titles, and especially the Colleen Hoover, she has quite a few on Kindle Unlimited, which is really good. So if I want to have some more of those, I can add them on. All right, so each week in the month of May, I'll be doing a weekly wrap up. I don't think I'm going to do a monthly wrap up ever. They just go for too long. This one's long enough. So I'm just going to do weekly wrap-ups, and they'll be just the books that I've read. So they will still be quite lengthy anyway. They'll be 15 to 20 minutes long. And yeah, so basically I'll just have my thoughts about these books. And as I said, most of them were pretty random. I just got them off BookBub or from the emails that came in, and I've collected them over the last couple of months. But that is it from me. Thank you so much for joining me today. As I said, it was a bit of a long video. 19 books. It's not too shabby. But if you've made it this far, thank you so much for sticking around. Leave me an emoji of a heart and a book emoji down below. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon beside it. And tune in the month of May to see if I get all of these books read or not. All right, that's it from me today. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye for now.